Today is Saturday, December 11th, 2021. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor 41, Week 12.
Gathered together after that penultimate episode to let the other superfans share their thoughts and predictions on how the Final Five is going to play out.
You know what? I really haven't had enough time to really sit and think about it yet.
No? I have just the solution for you.
What is that?
The listener feedback show.
All right.
Let's get started with Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. Wow, I can't believe next week will be the finale with a 26-day season. I'm going to let out a great, big woo! And I am a little sad for Danny going home. He was one of my top picks to win during the season, and even now, I respected him. Okay, maybe he didn't have a lot of strategy. You might have just saw him more as a physical threat, being the athlete, but to me, he was a likable guy, and I was bummed that he went home tonight. I really thought, based on the edit, it was going to be Deshaun, and I gotta say, I thought Deshaun caught a major bullet after he upped up Erica there. When he spoke up with Probst and all that at Tribal. You saw Erica Heather throwing the red flag, and they still split the vote. Now, I don't know if that was planned or not. Maybe it was because with the idol, and then Danny went home. Man, though, guys, how much was Danny looking, though? They showed the idol, remember, the next time on, and they showed it while he was looking, but he never stumbled upon it or found it. Now, maybe he looked for hours and hours, and we only saw 10 minutes of it because of time slots in editing. But, man, I was a little disappointed in that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to say this again. Ricard, I think it's his to lose. Can he pull a Tony or go on that big run in the last few episodes and fill up his resume as the best player? Right now, I think he is the best player right now. It's his to lose, but he's got to win those last few challenges, and I think he could win the fire-making tiebreaker if he makes it that far as well. Because I don't remember, was it Deshaun that said he didn't know how to make a fire? If he's in that, good luck, Deshaun. But I think it's Ricard's to lose. Deshaun got sort of a chance to win. He's likable. He's played on and off. Erica, for the two women, there's no doubt Erica has a chance to win. I think the jury and a lot of those women, they would vote for Erica, not Heather. Heather's done nothing. She's just the Samantha Bee of the season, just likes being there, has some interesting one-liners. She's going to get the 0 vote. Should be a great finish. I believe it'll be Ricard's to lose. Then you got Deshaun and Erica, Heather nothing. And then Xander, guys, I kind of lost respect with Xander after not making the move last week with Ricard. And I don't think the jury is going to respect that, in my opinion. Even, Danny don't. So we'll see, guys. Should be a great finish. And, guys, they're going to be a reunion show or nothing because of COVID. I'm curious to see what will happen, guys. I'll see if Dalton Ross says anything. Take care. Woo.
Whoa. Thanks, Pete. Yeah, in interview with Dalton Ross, Danny said that he had searched every day for idols, and he had been over that exact location multiple times. So,
did he say how he felt when he saw it on the episode?
He didn't want to believe that was actually how it happened, that they must have cut to that at some other time, that he wasn't really that near it. The other thing that Danny said, which was similar to what Pete said, was that Danny said he didn't think the jury respected Xander's game either, and that's really why nobody's worried about him.
About forcing the idol play?
Yeah. about him making it to Final Three even. I mean, I'm sure they would worry if it was him taking a spot over them, but in terms of sitting beside him, Danny seemed to think no one was really concerned about that.
Maybe. Is that true, or is Danny just not in the know? We don't really know, do we?
Of course not. But that's what he said in the
That's
interview.
what he thought, yeah.
Yep. Thanks again, Pete. Next up, we got a call from Christiana. Oh, Pete asked about the reunion. I don't know. I had read something before the season started that said that the Final Three is actually going to happen right there on the island, so it's not at a location. I don't know if that's true, but I did read that early on, that they actually did it while they were out there because of COVID and all that. So whether or not they'll have, that would be an awkward reunion to bring them back in after that. The ones that were there, I guess they could ship the vacationers back in too, so he can have a quick talk with them. But hopefully it'll just be all episode.
They might not have sent them off the island. They probably didn't this time.
Oh, because of COVID?
Because of COVID.
Yeah,
they
back in May.
usually send them somewhere, but they might not have.
That's
this
true.
time.
They might have just shuffled them to a different location and had them there in
That's
lockdown. Good point. Next up, we got a call from Christiana.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Christiana from Massachusetts calling in with my feedback for this week. I thought overall this was a good episode. Danny was a good guy. Sad to see him go. I didn't see him winning, so I think his time was coming at some point prior to Final Tribal Council, and it was just now. I was surprised that overall they went with Danny over Deshaun, because I feel like in the game, Deshaun is the bigger jury threat. I feel like Danny doesn't really have a game. He's just like a nice, likable guy. But you could argue that's a jury threat, so I don't know. But I feel like Erica is really, we're seeing her, or they're showing us, I should say, her making these strategic decisions and being able to zig and zag when she needs to. And in reading the edit, I'm wondering if that is perhaps indication that she is the winner. I really don't think it's Xander, because I feel like he's faded from the spotlight a bit and is kind of a supporting cast member, if you will, at this point. I would love for Xander to win. I really enjoyed him, but I don't see that happening. So when thinking forward to the finale, I feel like, I really don't know. I don't know the direction that it's going to go. Are they making fire at 4? Because I could see Xander is guaranteed a 4. And then I could see them putting him up to make fire, because once he's gotten there, that's pretty good resume for someone who was on this terrible tribe and had to really fight and claw his way and didn't even have a vote for half the game. And I could see him either getting into Final 3 there or, not, obviously. But like you were saying, Stacey, I don't think a lot of the jury respects him, so he could be in the final without winning, which might be a bit of jury situation, because I feel like if he made it to final, there'd be few people other than maybe Ricard that he would objectively be more deserving of in terms of just longevity and skill in the game. But I don't see Ricard getting to Final 3 either. I think they would be a fool to let that happen, except if he idles or immunities his way there. So I don't know, my gut's saying Erica, which would be awesome because she is my 24-point USB. But the only thing I'm pretty sure of is that Heather is not winning. And I know there's many theories on the internet that she is the winner and she has many fans, but I just feel like this cast really respects this game. And Shan, I believe, was saying she doesn't even want to take a goat to the end at all. So I don't think she would get any votes. I think the rest of them could make some kind of reasonable case, but we will see what happens. I hope everyone has a great week. Looking forward to the finale. Have a good one. Bye.
Excellent. Thanks, Christiana. Next up, we got an email from Erin in Canada. Hi, Joanne and Stacy. What an episode. Deshaun and his truth bombs. This is not the first tribal council that he has used this strategy. He did the same to Xander and Evie earlier on. I respect him for fighting to the end, but not sure if it was effective, and it was very poor jury management. I feel like many were sad to see Danny leave, which proves he was a threat because he's so likable. But I do feel like Danny quit before it was over. He didn't put up much of a fight. I was glad that Deshaun didn't reveal Danny's secret about being in the NFL. I thought that was what he was going to reveal. Yeah, me too. I enjoyed when Danny walked away and he said, "Go Cowboys," with a wink. Danny turns out to be the only player this season who's capable of keeping a secret. Yeah, in his interview, he said he was actually talking to Xander because he had shared something with Xander about who he, what he had really done. And so that was his way of telling Xander, yeah, I played for the Cowboys. Danny's also the first athlete that wasn't much of a physical threat. You would assume he would try his best near the end to win the challenges, and he only won once. I guess he didn't find the idol, so is it still out there to be found? Heather and Ricard were convinced he found the idol. Why weren't they out looking themselves? I feel like we are at a complete loss of not seeing a single idol being played this entire time. One of my favorite parts of Tribal. I think Ricard views Xander as a meat shield, and Xander views Ricard as a meat shield. That must be the only logical reason they haven't gone after one another. Erica seems to be manipulating most of the votes without the boys realizing. The final 5 should be interesting. If I were to guess, the final 3 are Heather, Xander, and Deshawn. I think Erica or Ricard are too much of a threat to take, and either of them would win by a landslide. Should be interesting, and we are all here for it. Well, that's all for me. Supper time. For some reason, I feel like chicken and broccoli. Have a great week. Thanks, Erin. Good job. Next up, we're going to keep it in Canada. We got a call from Robert.
Hey, Joanne, Stacy, and Survivor fans. This is Robert from Ontario, Canada, with my listener feedback. I really enjoyed this week's episode, and I hope that everyone else did too. I thought that the challenges were fun this week, and I was glad to see that there was no do-or-die twist involved. I have to say, Ricard continues to play an incredible game. He's playing so intelligently, I actually find myself imagining him in a returning player season, and this one isn't even over yet. He seems to really have a knack for reading people and choosing his words carefully. Well, except for that one time when he referred to Jeannie as a spare tire. But luckily for him, the edits almost made that memory fully evaporate in my head for him. So, speaking of choosing words carefully, I was really disappointed in Deshawn's performance at Tribal. He did himself no favors in trying to throw Erica under the bus, and I think that, this emotional response that Deshawn seems to have is going to be what prevents him from winning the game. And props to Erica for being smart enough not to throw it back at him that Deshawn promised her and Xander final 3. I've been rooting for Xander most of the season, and I think he's playing a lot better than the edit gives him credit for. If he doesn't have to go up against Ricard in the end, I think he actually has a decent chance at winning. So, anyway, next week things look hectic as the survivors storm the beach in search of something. And I'm wondering if it might be an advantage for the upcoming immunity challenge. What do you guys think? Also, do you have any idea why Ricard would be upset? I have a feeling he might be telling Xander about how he came to play while his husband's pregnant at home. That's just my hunch. But anyway, look forward to hearing everyone else's feedback and what people think. Thanks.
Yeah, there you go. I think you're onto something with that, Robert. Do you think there's another advantage? That's what they're searching for?
I think there's something because he does say, don't let him get it.
Yeah.
We don't know which him for sure, whether it was Xander or Deshawn, but he's like, don't let him get it.
It's pretty characteristic. There's certainly a historical precedent for having advantages for the final 5 challenge. So
Yeah.
Thanks, Robert. Next up, we got a call from Rebecca.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. It's Rebecca calling. Today I'm actually biking in Napa. The Napa Valley Wine Train is going by me to my left, and this is my reenactment on having my USB Danny voted out. No! No! No, no, no! Please, God, no, not Danny, no! Oh, wait, look what's coming up now. Okay, back in the game. I think I'm now fully in for Ricard, because he was smart enough to get rid of the people that were threats to him early on and was super bold. He wasn't scared to wait. And I think that's why he might win. So I'm trying to figure out the order of the final 5. I don't know. I feel like Heather's going to be a super goat. Kind of want Xander to get in there. Kind of feel like maybe Deshawn's going to go out early. I don't know. Oh, my God. It's so beautiful here. I'm just biking by vineyards and mountains. It's pretty gorgeous. No, Danny, no! That's all I got. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Rebecca. Yeah, that's a beautiful place to ride. I did a Breathe California ride there, and what was that thing that I did where it was partial Ironman? I can't even remember what that's called now.
I don't remember what it's called, but you did everything but the marathon at the end. You did
I did the first 2 things.
the
The swim.
100-and-something mile bike ride and the
And the bike ride was beautiful. That's what I was thinking about. Swimming in the river, especially against the current,
swim.
wasn't that great. But it certainly told me what I was looking to get an answer for, which was I wasn't ready to run 26 miles after doing all that.
yeah.
I had not met that conditioning goal. Yeah, that's just a beautiful ride there. Good deal. Thanks, Rebecca. Next up, we got a call from Boother.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy, and all you Survivor fans. This is Boother calling in. I want to start by contrasting Danny and Deshaun. I like both of these guys. Danny, physically strong, physically fit, but very quiet. We didn't see him talking too much with his other tribe mates. And when he made a plan, he was focused on that and driving it forward. When he was voted out this last tribal, he was very stoic, a good sport, and went out smiling. Deshaun, on the other hand, well, he's a good free throw shooter, that's for sure, but he loves to talk. We saw him talking with everybody, and he's very emotional, a little too emotional for me. But what he did in this last tribal council to stab Erica in the back was shocking. Here she had planned to help him out and not vote for him, and he tries to cause a rift between her and Heather. Deshaun stepped on his own landmine. I think his game is done. I think Deshaun's going to be the next person voted out. Well, speaking of the next two immunity challenges, that's going to set up who's going to win this game. So my prediction is that Ricard is going to be winning both immunity challenges. Like I said, Deshaun will be voted off first. In the second immunity challenge, Ricard will pick Heather, or whoever wins that challenge will pick Heather to go into the final with them. Then Xander and Erica facing off to make fire. And I predict Xander's going to win. Ricard's going to garner most of the votes. Xander will get a few votes, but Heather won't get any votes. So that's what I'm predicting. I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing what other Survivor fans have to say. And have a good day. Bye.
Thanks, Boother. There you go, baby. They're lining them up for you, giving you all kinds of ideas. You taking notes?
No, I'm just absorbing.
Absorbing
because
right
I
now.
thought, yeah, I can see that. And then I'll change it 15 times between now and then. I already know that.
All right. Thanks again, Boother. Next up, we got an email from Brian Heidik. Save us.
Greetings and salutations, Survivor fans. The realization that this is the penultimate episode of season 41 brings a mixed bag of emotions. For one, my daughter and I get to bond over Survivor, which is quite an accomplishment, given she is just a few months away from her teenage years. On the other hand, we will soon have to wait an extended time for more content and dreams of winning the JSFL. We know the show's creator, Mark Burnett, intended Survivor to be, quote, an extreme microcosm of connecting with other human beings. Burnett goes on to say, winners and losers are easy to spot. Winners are always flexible. Lesser competitors become stymied and angry. My critique of this season is that the microcosm of America and now Canada is no longer represented. While we are fortunate to have more people of color represented this season, we haven't seen much diversity of thought. Survivor has pivoted hard away from a large swath of its audience that maybe isn't as focused on the latest progressive attitudes. A Rudy Bosch would never have a chance to grow, let alone get a call back with today's casting. This leads me to this season and my pick for Soul Survivor. We've had a great number of characters this season, but outside of Ricard and Shahin, very few have demonstrated a strong strategic mind. Deshaun gets a consolation prize, but his outbursts have been his kryptonite. We've seen throughout the season that players are aware, almost to the point of paranoia, that a woman hasn't won in several seasons. Ricard is problematic in that he has played so much better than the other four that I think even this tendentious jury would pick him to win. As a result, he is everyone's target and will not make it past 4. As hard as it is to write this, I believe the woman that actually said she is, quote, concerned people will see her game as being too similar to Heather will win this season. This is what happens when you mistake equality of outcome for equality of opportunity. Yuck. All right, thanks, Brian Heidik. Save us. That means he chose Erica to win. So, okay, I could see that too. All right, up next we have a call from Ann and John.
Hi, I'm John.
Man,
I'm excited. I was glad there's 2 challenges, but the rest of the episode was kind of boring. It wasn't really exciting. And also, there were no birds at all, and we got a bird book to see what birds they are, and there's only an iguana.
Yeah, I was trying to think of ways to make it more interesting for John, and he likes bird watching. And so we got a Birds of Fiji book. And then we were looking for birds the whole time, and there were no birds the whole episode, so that was a bummer.
But there was last episode when we didn't have the book.
Yeah, so we're going to have to go back and watch that one. Well, we saw an iguana. That was cool.
Yeah.
The tribal councils have been kind of boring for John. They've just been very long.
Agreed.
I was sad that Danny got voted out, but it wasn't totally unexpected to me because they've already made Deshaun, and Deshaun also did it himself, made himself look bad in front of the jury. So, of course, they would want to keep him now because they have a chance of winning against him. So that makes sense. But that was John's pick, and he's still in the game. So that's something. I still want Ricard to win now because I feel like he's done the most strategizing, and he also has the other elements. We'll see what happens. You got any other ideas, John?
That's all we have. Bye.
Bye, guys. Really enjoy hearing everybody's feedback. And thanks for all the work that you guys do. Bye.
Thanks, Ann. Thanks, John. Next up, we got a call from Drew.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, everyone. This is Drew. Yeah, I totally spaced it on last week's feedback, which is probably for the best, actually, for reasons I'll briefly outline in just a second. But I will say I have been pretty great about my picks lately. So I think that's reflecting in my JSFL score. It's slowly inching up out of the basement. But yeah, like I said, I think it was probably for the best. I didn't respond because it wouldn't have been very positive. I thought it was, it sounds hyperbolic, but I just thought it was the worst tribal council ever, which made it to me the worst episode ever. I'm just almost over this season completely, and I'm invested enough that I got to stick it out, and especially JSFL on the line. But yeah, it is ironic also because not only have I gotten my picks in, I had 5-point weeks the last 2 episodes. So there's a silver lining there, I guess. But I will say about it at this point is I'm kind of recovered, but I have a lot of thoughts about guilt, about privilege, about victimhood, a lot about the societal issues that they've been addressing. I've thought about it a lot, not just over the last year and a half or 2, but just over the last 5 or 10. And I won't go into too much detail because we're talking Survivor. I'm actually afraid to say anything most of the time because a lot of times certain viewpoints aren't allowed or appreciated, but I did appreciate that some people in the Facebook group and in the feedback show were expressing a lot of different. There was some diversity of thought, and I think that is a form of diversity that has a lot of value too. But yeah, this most recent episode was, I think, marginally better, but not that much. I'm just so not interested in really what happens next. I'm curious, but I at this point, I guess Xander for the win. I guess that's who I'm kind of hoping takes it all because I don't really like much. Heather is okay, and Erica would be okay too. I've liked some things about her along the way, but Deshaun, I'd be fine never seeing him again. Ricard, I'm not super into. I liked Danny. I picked him to go because I kind of saw that as a distinct possibility, but I would have been kind of into him, even though I think he was over it too. I just think this last couple of episodes we focused so much on societal things and political issues, even that we didn't get much gameplay. And then, there's a little bit of that with some of the interactions and, these color by numbers challenges and whatever. Yeah, so I'll leave it there, and I may have a chance at this side challenge thing, you guys. I don't know. I might be able to pull out second to last. I don't know. We'll see. But my play, I was in A Christmas Carol, just ended last night, so my schedule has cleared a little bit just in time to roll into Christmas the next couple of weeks. So hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see what happens next week. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Drew. We always know that there's an opportunity for lots of points in the finale. So good luck with that, Drew.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that you're so miserable watching Survivor. I hope you find a solution to that. Next up, we got a call from David.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy, it's David in Pittsburgh. And I want to say that the last episode was not quite as tense for me as previous ones. I had Danny being safe and Deshaun going out. So whatever, I lost 2 points, but I was okay with the results of the tribal council. What I want to talk about mainly is representation. I agree with the black players 100%. That their alliance, if it would have held strong, could have led to a person of color winning this season. And I do understand them fighting for that, although it could cost an individual his game. But I want to point out a couple other things. Erica brought up about whether a woman would win Survivor this season and how long it's been since that's happened. I'd like to point out that how often has a gay player won Survivor? We know Mastermind Richard Hatch won in season 1, and I had to go through a search to find out Todd Herzog won season 15, China,
Masterful.
And that's been it. When I was picking who I was going to have as my USB, I told my sister-in-law I picked Ricard, and she said right away, oh, yeah, you picked him because he's gay. And I thought, well, I guess I did. But then I switched him to Xander, from him to Xander, because I thought I didn't like the way he was playing. Of course, now he's playing better. But I just want to point out there are a lot of different ways to play the game and represent who you are. Is that good or bad? No, it's just a strategy. But as I said, it could be for a group, not necessarily for an individual. And I thought it was interesting that Deshaun, who was on an emotional roller coaster throughout the whole episode, was one of the reasons why his strong black alliance broke apart. By them voting Shahin out, they dropped down to 3 players. They had the majority and then couldn't save Liana. Also, I can't remember if you said this on the recap, Stacy, or not, but why didn't Danny and Deshaun vote for, say, Xander? If they had, there would have been 2, 2, and 2, and the others might have gone along with voting out Xander because he would have been the third person with an idol in his pocket. I just felt that Danny and Deshaun have not been playing good strategic games. I was not surprised when Danny went out. I will be surprised if Deshaun wins. I just don't feel he's played as good a game as some of the others. Anyway, those are my rambling thoughts for this week, and I can't wait for the finale. Talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, David. In his interview, he said he was, so 2 reasons that I got from reading the interviews, watching the video interview. One, he wasn't so sure what Deshaun was going to do, and he thought that he might just double-cross him and throw his vote in with someone else, or he just wasn't sure how Deshaun was going to do his thing, do his part. And then the other thing was that topic that we talked about earlier, which is no one's thinking that Xander's got respect. And so that idea that they might pivot to voting out Xander didn't look like it was going to materialize to Danny from what he could tell. So it just didn't seem viable to him. The best thing was to have them vote for each other and then go from there. That was how I understood it. And Danny said when he got asked if there's anything not shown about him he wished had been included, he said, yeah, all the strategic talk that I did and all the discussions I had with everyone. He said that he was the one who talked with Heather and Erica about getting Nasir out since Nasir had turned on them. And that was his plan that they put into action. That was interesting, too. So, yeah, we didn't get to see any of those aspects of Danny's game, unfortunately. Next up, we got an email from Jack. I think they may have made a mistake for not taking Ricard out when they had a chance. At this point, if he wins the rest of the immunity challenges for the rest of the season, he will probably run away with the win. I feel like it's because of COVID, but at this point in the season, there would have been a family visit or letters from home. So I'm not surprised that Deshaun was asking for it during the reward challenge instead of food or sweets. I would have also hoped for word from home at this point. It's sad to see Danny go since he was a great player, but I can understand why they got rid of him. I was surprised that they are starting at a new beach all over again at the start of the finale. With the final 5, here are my predictions of final order. Here you go, babe. Got another prediction.
All right.
Deshaun, Xander, Heather, Erica, and Ricard for the win. That may change after hearing everyone else's feedback, though.
I could totally see that, too.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. Next up, we got a call from Parker.
Hey, it's Parker from Indiana, and did you miss me?
You bet.
I've been watching. I haven't left feedback, but I've been watching, and I've been loving the back half of this season. A lot of great strategy, social relationships, really good editing, storytelling, everything. It's just so fun for me to watch, and I like this cast. None of these last couple episodes have been advantage heavy at all. I'm enjoying that aspect of it as well. I really like these players. Out of the final 5, I like 4 of them. That usually doesn't happen. I'm usually only liking 2 of them, and the rest I think all suck. But I love Deshaun. He's my favorite right now. Ricard, close second. He's amazing. Xander, he's got that likable underdog edit, but now he's on the top, so he's kind of just there. And then Erica, really likable, and I can see her winning too. And so I really love those 4, and I could see all of them winning. And the only person I don't like, who I can't see winning, is Heather. And there's no shot for her to win. So, hey, I'm happy. I'm not going to get a crappy winner. And this week, Deshaun just really got a lot of focus. I'm sitting there wondering, is this his winner story heading into the finale, or is this his swan song? And then he sang. I'm like, wait, what just happened? I was so confused that it worked out. Now he's like a one-man army, basically. But I think Deshaun may be able to win. I don't think Deshaun's going to be 5th place. I think, just maybe, this is how it happens. I think Erica goes 5th. I think final 4, it's going to be, I think Xander maybe wins immunity, then gives up immunity, and puts himself into fire making with Ricard. They battle out. Ricard loses fire making to Xander. Xander goes to final tribal council. It's Xander, Heather, Deshaun, and then to everybody's surprise, Xander loses, Deshaun wins, Heather gets no votes, to absolutely nobody's surprise. So, yeah, that's the narrative I'm going with. That's what I'm going to put as my picks. And I think everybody's going to be shocked when Deshaun wins, but it's going to happen. He's been my USB since the beginning. From his picture, I looked at his picture, I was like, he looks like a happy dad. He's going to win. He's not even a dad, but that's what I looked at his picture. I was like, yeah, happy dad vibes. He's winning. I'm loving this, loving how chaotic these players left are, because there's nobody with like a perfect clean edit, which is why I think Deshaun isn't out of it, because everybody's messy at this point. Really looking forward to the finale, and I will see you guys next time.
Awesome. Thanks, Parker.
I may have to do something like that just because he's my USB.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's either go big
attempt to
go
maximize
home.
your play bold. Maximize those points.
We'll see.
Next up, we got a call from Rashmi.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy and all my Survivor friends. Here we are at the end of Survivor for this season, and there are 5 people standing. Out of the 5, I would be happy with any of them winning except for Heather. In my view, Heather doesn't deserve to win. Out of the leftover 4, Erica, Ricard, Xander, and Deshaun. In that order, if they won, I would be happy. Erica really deserves to win. We haven't had a woman winning for a long time, and she has played a really good game, and she deserves to win. Saying that, I think Ricard also played a very strong and strategic game. He has a very strong resume, and he really does deserve to win, but I don't think Erica will not take him towards the end. So let's see what happens. Anyway, out of those 4, if any of them win, be happy, though not with Deshaun maybe, but The other 3 have done really well. I'm on vacation and we are going back today, so I'll just keep this short, and I am looking forward to the finale. Thankfully, I'll be home to watch it at home. And on that note, cheers everybody. Keep safe, keep happy. Bye.
Cheers, Rashmi. Thanks. Next up, we got a call from Shahin.
Hi, Joe and Stacey. It's been a few weeks, but I've been finally able to send in some feedback. Still great to be able to listen to everyone's lovely feedback, though, over the last few. This episode was really strange. I wasn't a big fan of it, but there were some little bits and pieces that I can quickly touch on from my end. It was great to see the natural progression of Deshaun's conversation from the previous tribal, and how natural conversations then flowed out from it, and that those that talked to him were so keen to understand that viewpoint, something that isn't really done enough in our social climate. More exposure through different avenues means more hands on deck to solve the underlying issue, not just for the African American community, but for people of all colour, me included. If sport can be used as a channel to fight injustice, then why can't television be? This is ultimately a social experiment intertwined with the game. Now, to the game itself, is it just me, or is the reward challenges becoming super linear? This is so straightforward. I just feel like they just grabbed a few obstacles from just previous seasons and just jammed them together. I wonder if Jeff and co just put all their energy into this make-believe monster that they've hyped up for the whole time and didn't bother doing better constructed challenges. I think the group who won made the correct choice. It's always a decision between the slow burn versus the quick burn, energy-wise, and I do like the dilemma he gave him. Shame that Danny couldn't find that advantage. In the end, it was so close. I wish he went out again. I bet he did, but we just didn't see it in the cut. And the last 18 minutes of the episode were really slow for me. I could have just honestly sped through it. It was just 2 guys who were just resigned to their fate, moping around going, oh, what's going to happen? Oh, one of us is going to go, so we might as well make the most of it. What boggles the mind is that no one bothered going after Xander. I believe a few listeners called in last week with the same viewpoint, and it just boggles the mind. The guy has an idol. He had the extra vote, but used it quite strangely last week. And I'm curious as to see why he's gone so far without painting a target on his back. He had one before. The meat shield concept is quite valid. He's used it quite effectively, but usually there are multiple targets during the course of a game. It makes me think and brings me back to something I said last time that I called in, was that I don't think it's a very good cast. I think there's only been maybe during the course of the whole game 3, maybe 4 good players, and the rest are just bang average. Idols have also lost their efficacy. I don't know if it's just Jeff that's decided to kill their effect, like, hey, have them in the game, but I know ultimately it's going to be people that are going to use them that judges their efficacy, but it's just interesting to see that it's unlikely to be used until next week. I wonder if it gives Jeff and co ideas and lessons learned this game, and including season 42, and how they can improve the game from 43 onwards. But ultimately, sad to see Danny go. Liked his little NFL drop at the end there, and I just sincerely hope a GOAT doesn't win this game. It will just make 42 really hard watching. I had that experience a few times, and it's not a good one. And I do like that last little dilemma that we see at the end for next week, where everything gets rebooted. That's how it should be. You just don't get a free ride as a top 5. I'm sorry, Heather. I'm sorry, Erica. You guys don't get that free ride. So I think that's it from me. Thanks for all that you do.
Thanks, Shahin. Next up, we got an email from Nicky in Florida.
Well, I had Ricard leaving, but when I saw the immunity challenge and there was a puzzle, I knew he would win. I'll pick Ricard to leave next again, as that would be the smartest choice. But if he doesn't leave next, then he should win. It seems this season's idols have not meant much. No one has used one and no one is looking for them. That's what it looks like anyway. It's definitely been an odd season with no secure alliances. What I've seen is a lot of myself and no real teamwork, just switching back and forth. Erica showed her gameplay in the second half. Heather, she's just there. Deshaun and Danny screwed up when they sent Shan home. Their game ended there. The only players are Xander and Ricard. Xander still has an idol, and maybe he will use it. Ricard will have to win immunity to stay alive. If not, I believe that they will vote him out. I do love this game, and I look forward to hearing everyone else's thoughts. Have a good one. Also, thanks for your podcast. All right, thanks, Nikki. Up next, we have a call from Kim.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans. This is Kim from North Carolina. I have 5 sticky notes with the names on it, and I cannot for the life of me decide what order to put them in for the final JSFL. If Ricard doesn't win immunity, can he really talk the other players into getting rid of Deshaun or Erica? I'm not sure that this jury is the type of jury that will vote on quality of the gameplay instead of residual anger over being in the jury instead of being in the final tribal council. I'm never good at predicting what's going to happen, so I think I'll just focus on saying how much I've enjoyed watching Survivor with all of you. Ever since Cameron convinced me to start doing listener feedback, it's just made the whole experience so much better. And after having missed it through the COVID year, this was a pick-me-up that really added a lot to my life. So thanks, everybody. I'll look forward to watching. I'm even going to stay up late on a school night. Oh, my gosh.
What?
Take care, everybody. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks for sharing that. That was awesome. Next up, we got a call from Noelle.
Hi, everyone. It's Noelle calling from Albuquerque. That episode was just fine for me. Not bad, but not super riveting, so I don't have a lot to say about it. I'm sad that we only have one episode left. I'm sure the finale is going to be a wild ride, but it's probably for the best because I think I'm out of save points on most of the people who are left in the game. I thought I was playing bold with my save points like Stacy does, but I still have a lot to learn about how to use them properly. I ran out of save points on Heather weeks ago. I, at this point, can't see anybody winning other than Ricard, but it'll be a fun watch either way. Also, Joanne has been so spot on with her insights all season that I also wouldn't be surprised if Deshaun win. The feedback episodes have been so great this season that I'm hoping we'll hear again from all of our regulars before next season, and I'm hoping that Parker will call back in. I really miss his enthusiasm, and I hope we hear from Shay, and I hope everybody has a nice weekend. Bye.
Thanks, Noelle. Next up, we got a call from Jade-n-Christine.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans. This is Jade.
And Christine.
From Hawaii.
Aloha. And aloha oi to our dear Danny.
Oh, Danny.
Farewell. I was so sad he went home.
Yeah.
And of course, Deshaun stayed because I had him as my vote off for the second week. And he, they teased me so much. It was like, yeah, he's going to go. But he didn't. Danny did. And I was so sad.
We really enjoyed Danny's Ponderosa video, too.
Yeah.
He's just such a good guy.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch. I hope he comes back. That'd
Me
be kinda
too.
Nice.
Me too.
Yeah. I enjoyed the reward challenge.
Mm-hmm.
When it started, I told Mom it's going to be Xander, Heather, and Erica.
Yes, definitely. He must have been so tickled not to be with the girls this time.
So the rocks were good for Xander and Erica because they were on a winning team together.
Yeah.
We got delicious protein.
Yeah, and they decided to hook up and make their little alliance.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Ricard wins immunity, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But that, of course, puts a huge target on him. I think next week it might be Ricard or Deshaun. But I think if I put Deshaun, he won't get voted out. So I don't know if I want to put him. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Oh, Deshaun. I wish he hadn't dropped that truth bomb. It reminded me of that season when Ben won. And he was dropping those Ben bombs at every tribal. And that would always just make me cringe because those kinds of things do not help you with your alliance. They're not good for your social game.
No.
They just alienate you from other people. Why do people continue to do those things?
I don't know.
No one's going to want to tell him anything anymore.
Yeah.
When Erica was talking to him, I was saying, it's just like what she told him about Sydney. And he goes and he blabs to everybody. It's going to be the same thing. He's going to just blabber secrets.
Yeah.
So I was annoyed.
It's some kind of strategy, but it's not a good one.
Yeah. What do you think's going to happen?
Oh, gosh. I think the Ice Queen will be crowned.
Yes. That could be. Or it could be Erica.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about sticking with her now.
I would be happy with either one of them. So,
Me too.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I do kind of want a woman to win, but Ricard has really earned it. So I think if Ricard gets to the end, he wins. But if he doesn't win immunity in this next round and they vote him out, then I think that Erica might have a chance.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Can't wait to watch the big finale.
Yay. Bye.
Excellent. Thanks, Jade and Christine. Next up, we got an email from Josh, the plush moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, to paraphrase Bill Belichick, we're on to the finale. It's shaping up to be quite an episode. My other observations: I live in New England. I'm a Pats fan. Danny Ricard is not Bill Belichick. Deshaun's "it's all good" is like asking your partner, "Are we okay?" and getting fine. Sad.
Or fine.
There we go. An authentic version of one. Sad but true. Others' biases can affect every facet of your life. The closer we get to Final Three, the more it looks like Heather may be Kaiser Sose. Oh, Heather the Hitman, huh? Okay. Erica wants a woman to win. Ideally her. I'd prefer the human with the best game. Yeah, I think that's a good target. This experience is a beautiful mess is the perfect description of Survivor. Yeah. Chicken and veggies versus cake, cookies, and candies should be a Hobson's choice. Jeff said Deshaun wanted family letters to fall from the sky. The last time someone wanted something to drop from the sky, Tiffany was attacked by a giant bug.
'Tis true.
Yep. In the reward challenge, Danny showed why he played in the NFL, not the NBA. Oh, ouch. Deshaun is a hypocrite. He lies like a rug, but expects others to be truthful with him. Yes, indeed.
That seems to be human nature out there. So.
Ricard and Heather were shown making fire. Was this foreshadowing? Stacy, I'm also a chocolate mousse. Cookies, cake, and candy are my fuel. GameBot Ricard's idle detection mode needs servicing. Yeah, definitely. He just knew Danny had something, didn't he? Erica and Heather play like twins. Which one is Arnold? Jeff's lose the 4, keep the 1 may be prophetic. The cinematography, uncertain game structure, and declaring the winner at Final Tribal all hark back to Season 1. Balancing with uncertain footing is second nature for a flight attendant. For Christmas, Danny and Deshaun are giving voting for dummies to the others. Ricard gives me strong Richard Hatch vibes. I'm hoping he'll win his first season too. Deshaun cheated death once. Can he do it again? He thinks he's Adam West's Batman. Danny's last paragraph sounded like an NFL locker room speech. Yeah, it did. Deshaun's truth bomb exposed that he truly is a goat. A final twist? New island, start over, minimal supplies, and a hidden advantage? Next, we're on to the finale. Will we get a satisfying winner? I think the odds are pretty good for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it from me for now. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks, Josh. Good job, buddy. Next up, we got a call from Jill.
Hi, Joe and Stacey. Hi, Survivor fans. Jill from the Outback here. I think I'm getting pretty late in putting my feedback in, so I apologise, Stacey. I figured it was either going to be Deshaun or Danny go home this week, and I picked Deshaun. So that has slipped me down the JSFL leaderboard, which is a shame. It's the best I've ever done this year, and it's put Rashmi above me. I was the highest Australian there for a little while, but Rashmi's above me now, and she's leading the crew. Danny left with a lot of grace. He could show a few of the earlier contestants who got voted out. He could show them how to do it with a bit more style. I'm sure they're all regretting not voting out Ricard before now that he's having a bit of a run towards the end of the game. He might be a bit tricky to get rid of now. And if he makes the final, he will win, I think, out of the ones that are left. I've done a bit of a 180 with Ricard. At the start of the season, I called him Smarmy, but I've really turned around from that. Looking forward to the finale this week. Someone has had the audacity to invite me out to their birthday dinner on that night, so I'm going to have to watch it either late that night or early the next morning. But either way, I will be looking forward to your recap and hearing everyone's thoughts about the finale. Can't believe that it's come around so quickly. Okay, everyone, happy days. Bye.
Thanks, Jill. Next up, we got a call from Jeremiah.
Hello, Survivor family. It's Jeremiah here. Well, another solid episode this week. I, of course, hate to see Danny go. You know, I was thinking back to my question on who is the best pro athlete to ever play Survivor, and I definitely think he is going to fall in my top 3, right behind Uncle Cliffy and, of course, Jeff Kent. Now, I know Brad Culpepper was the player who's made it the furthest, but I never really liked Brad that much. My only disappointment for this week is the fact that I wish that Deshaun and Danny would have thought about the fact that they were going to split the votes. They could have put their 2 on Xander, forcing a 3-way tie, and then hopefully maybe then they could have convinced everyone to take out Xander so they could remove that final immunity idol. But unfortunately, I guess it was not in the cards for this particular week, so I hate to see Danny go. Now, let's get on to the important stuff. What's going to happen next week? Who is going to win Survivor 41? Well, I hate to say this, but I have no idea. Normally when we get to the final 5, I have 1, maybe 2 people that I feel like is for sure going to win. And I can't really tell you. I can make an argument for 4 of the 5 people left. Of course, leaving out Heather as the only person I do not think is going to win Survivor. So here's how my mindset looks at this. Obviously, Ricard is the favorite to win. Now, the only problem with Ricard winning is he has to win out, meaning he has to win at 5 and at 4 or win that fire challenge. So he has a very tough road. But every scenario that he is in it in the finale, he has, in my opinion, wins hands down. So, will he do it? That is the question. And I really don't know for sure. That is a tough thing to pull off. I'm kind of leaning towards him being our 5th or 4th person removed from the game at this point, but I could be talked into just going all in on Ricard. Time will tell on that. For the remaining 3, let's start off with the next person who's had a very good positive turnaround on their edit in the second half, and that's Erica. I feel like she might be the next front runner. I know you don't want to hear this, Stacy, to potentially win. I thought it was unusual this week that they reminded us that we haven't had a woman winner in a long time. And I just, makes me start to really think that she would probably be my next choice out of a potential winner. Then, of course, you have the 2 boys. Deshaun, he's obviously struggled here in the second half, but he's extremely likable. So I could definitely see that if this scenario of these 3 being our final 3, I could totally see that, he could potentially take the win from her. Now, Xander, I just don't see it happening at this point. After hearing the way Danny talked, and pretty much everybody's talked in their exit interviews, they just don't take Xander very seriously, so I don't expect him to win, even if he's in the finale, even though I can understand he could make a good argument of why he should win. So right now, I'm kind of leaning towards, Ricard, unfortunately, being our 5th or 4th person, with Heather being that other person that goes out before finale 3, and then we will have this very unusual final 3. When I say unusual, meaning I really don't know which direction we'll go. So hopefully that's not the case and it's just a easy Ricard win. All right, that's it for me. You guys take care. Until next time, this is Jeremiah from Southern California.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Next up, we got a call from Paul.
Hey, Paul in Louisiana here, and first I've got to say that at Tribal Council, I was actually shocked that there wasn't a 3-way tie, and when it didn't happen, I thought that maybe it was a sign that in the end, Danny and Deshaun couldn't really trust each other. But after thinking it through, it probably would have ended up the same way, just having taken longer to get there. But hey, wouldn't it have made for some great TV? And I have to say that the word puzzle at the end of that challenge looked tough to me. As for Ricard telling everyone that he was thinking about every 4-letter word he could, well, I'm pretty sure that each time he made a mistake, other 4-letter words are coming to mind, but best we not go there. So, isn't it funny how your opinion can change on the drop of a dime? I have Deshaun as my USB, but I so wanted him to be voted off rather than Danny. This guy torpedoed his game, and I think he's steadily been losing fans with each passing week. He's weaselly. He has no gameplay. He flies off the handle, and I don't think much of what he says is genuine at all. His mouth goes off, and he becomes his own worst enemy. I think he thinks that he's winning when he's whining. But he does have that smile that sort of makes you forget what he's done 5 minutes ago, and he's got a new friend on the jury, so that might pay off. And Danny, yes, I genuinely like him, but doesn't he remember what he and Deshaun did to Xander's trust just a few days earlier? Why would he expect Xander to be loyal? It always amazes me when people are so shocked and feel betrayed, all the while forgetting what they've done to the same person or others along the way. So yeah, this was a great tribal council for me because it explained what I always tried to explain to all the other people I know who watch the show, that everyone is playing for what's best for them. Also, they don't have the information that we do, and even we don't have it all. Players aren't playing stupidly. They've got a line of reasoning that makes their choices feel good for their game. Okay, so here's my final 5 after working through my reasoning for these players getting there. 5th place is Deshaun. They need to get rid of him so the jury can pass along 3 other votes, because I'm pretty sure the Black Alliance will hold together when it comes to picking a winner. Next, I feel that Ricard will win immunity because Xander has had too many moments where he just looks confused and out of it due to exhaustion. Ricard will pick Erica and Xander to make fire, and Erica, who we've seen make fire, will win. Third place will be Heather, then Erica, and that leaves Ricard for the win. So there you have it. You don't even need to watch the finale because I've just spelled it all out there for you. Of course, I've only received 2 vote-off points this season, so there's that. And if by chance Ricard can't make it to the end, then I feel that Erica could honestly win over Xander, who for some reason is disliked across the board. I certainly can't see Danny voting for him. Everyone's talked about how great of a game Erica's played, but then again, I honestly think that most of that talk was made up to help keep other players in the game for alliance reasons or meat shields or whatever. Still, in the end, she's bringing a lot to the game as a Final 5 player. So, there it is. Enjoy the finale, everyone. Talk to you all next week. Bye.
Thanks, Paul. Paul included a note with his audio that said, I said disliked, but I meant disrespected. That Xander wasn't respected in the context of the game.
Yeah.
So, yep, that seems to be the theme of what we've heard. Well, did that clear anything up for you?
Clear as mud. Actually, I could see every scenario that it could happen. I think that I don't think it's usually quite that muddled for me either, but this time it really kind of is.
Having 4 really viable players at the end makes it challenging for sure.
And like I said, I could choose to go with Parker's
scenario with Deshaun's
evaluation because of me having Deshaun. So on the off chance that I could score more points.
Yeah.
So it may be that simple and just not worry about it and
try
just
to
have
maximize.
fun. And because truthfully, I really don't. I'm not deeply invested in who wins as long as Heather doesn't.
Yeah, we just haven't been given enough.
Yeah, unless they show us so much more from her in the finale that we didn't know she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would be okay.
There's
But
3 hours, you never know.
the way it's been edited, we haven't seen her contribute as much.
Right. Yep, I agree. After seeing Danny's Ponderosa video and how, I don't know, how would you describe Shan and Liana? Bitter?
I don't know if
They were
bitter,
mad.
but they were mad at him because they really
They
were blaming him for destroying their chances.
Deshaun, yeah.
And just getting them picked off one by one.
So I don't know.
When they chose to vote for Shan, and they didn't understand. But Danny kept explaining, hey, Ricard is the one. They thought, like I said, when Liana came in, Shan thought Liana had turned on her.
Mm-hmm.
And Liana said, no, I didn't do that. I didn't vote. But Danny really said, we didn't have a lot of choice because there were already 5 people against you, is what he said. And that Ricard is the one that orchestrated the whole thing. And she's like, you mean you voted against me just because I told Ricard? And he said, yes.
Who she still called her number 1.
Yeah, she said, he was my number 1. I was just giving him the courtesy of and he said,
And in an interview, Danny said that he actually went to Shan before Liana went to Shan and explained what they were thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's another reason he felt even more betrayed by her telling Ricard that.
Well, I just think she didn't want to accept any responsibility for that.
Neither one of them.
They ended up hugging it out in the end, but Danny was like, hey, they didn't really, I thought, at least give the guy a chance to enjoy his food.
No, they were on him, attacking him right from the drop.
That's what he said. He felt very attacked when he got there. But
that's why I'm not so sure that Shan and Liana's vote would go to Deshaun.
Well, I was thinking about that when people were talking, and I thought maybe Danny is paving the way, though, that they'll see why they did it.
They didn't seem that. I didn't see resolution in that exchange.
To hash it out good with him. So, yeah, they might.
That's why
they
she's
might
had that
pull it
stink
together.
face at the last two juries. I mean, at last two tribal councils, because she's holding on to this really hard.
Well, but they could, Danny could easily say, well, this is our opportunity to prove it, that we can stick together. What do you mean you're not going to vote for it?
It wasn't about that, though. It was about you killed my chance.
You killed our chances,
No,
what I heard.
It was my with Shan, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I heard that you killed,
Yeah.
from Liana was saying, you killed our chance the minute you voted out Shan.
Yeah.
And then we just were getting picked off.
Now, the thing with Erica, I could see because Evie was pushing so hard to have a women's alliance in hopes of having a women's winner. And she could be a really strong advocate for throwing votes Erica's way. And Shan was always worried about Erica. She was always seeing Erica as a threat. So if Erica shows up there, I could see quite a lot of votes going her way.
Interesting. That
I think Tiffany would just fall in line and probably, I don't know about Nasir. It'd be hard to say what he would do. And Danny was always worried about what Erica was up to also. So I could see her getting a lot of votes. Nasir, wild card, not sure. What would be the most awkward ending? What's the final three? And you're like, ugh.
I don't know.
I do. It's Deshaun, Heather, and Xander. Those, they seem like they're
Oh, I think
out of it.
Deshaun wins then.
You do?
I kind of do.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's like,
And yet I could see him go
How
for
do you-
Xander too.
how do
or-
you
but-
make a call here? Yeah. I think that would be the hardest one for the jury to
My
decide
guess
on.
would be Deshaun could win in that case.
You think he's going to be able to speak better? Xander's a pretty good speaker.
Yeah. Again, I just feel like from everything people have said coming out of the interviews that they're not looking at him that way, though.
Yeah,
that
definitely
could,
not.
That could just,
But if that's your choices, if it's Heather, Deshaun, and Xander,
yeah. Well, yeah, they could give it to him.
potentially, maybe Ebony and Tiffany would come around. If they were, they would be formidable champions on his behalf. So they might could sway others,
Who
I
did
guess.
you say would come around?
Evie and Tiffany.
Oh, I heard Ebony. I was like, what? What did he say? I was focused on the roster.
All right. Well, we want to thank everyone who took the time to share their thoughts and predictions today. We really enjoyed and appreciate hearing from all of you. Thank you.
Well, and if you're playing in JSFL, do not forget to make your Week 13 selections for your Final 5 order. There is a lot of points to be made, and it will determine where you will place in JSFL.
Your final grade depends on it.
That's right. This is it.
So we're going to get together one more time before this is over, and we would love for you to be a part of that, be a part of our listener feedback shows. We've had some great shows this season. You can call and leave a voicemail on 206-350-1547, toll free 844-643-8737. Maybe you just want to call and leave us a message and say, here's who I've decided the final three in the winner are. You can record an audio comment and attach it, or just type up a quick text message and send it to us via email at joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. Remember, for the listener feedback, it's due noon Pacific time on Saturdays.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Excited for Wednesday. It's going to be
All right.
fun. Looking forward
It's
to
going
it.
to be a big night. All right, we'll be back on Wednesday with our finale recap.
Have a good one.